Chosen one. There's power in your silence. You walked away like a boss and now they're up all night thinking about you. That quiet exit of yours has become the loudest thing in their world. Someone is staring at the ceiling, scrolling through old messages, replaying every moment and wondering how they lost access to your energy. You didn't leave out of weakness, you left out of dominance. That's boss energy. And now the unpredictability, the sudden shift, has them restless, haunted, and realizing too late that your silence was the loudest message of all. You were underestimated from the beginning. Your emotions were treated like toys. Your kindness was seen as weakness to exploit. Your calm demeanor was interpreted as softness. Your generosity was treated like a never-ending resource that would always replenish. Games were played, strategic games. Affection was withheld to make you chase. Distance was created to make you value more. Situations were manipulated to maintain control. The belief was that strings were being pulled, that puppet master dynamics were in effect. But here's what wasn't seen. There was quiet strength simmering beneath your surface, a power that would never lower itself to petty conflicts. What you saw through it all. Maybe not at first, maybe not consciously, but your soul knew. Your spirit recognized the disrespect. Your higher self was cataloging every manipulation, every game, every calculated move. And while winning seemed certain from one perspective, you were actually gathering evidence, building a case, preparing for the moment when you would make the most powerful move of all, complete withdrawal. The assumption was that replacement would be easy, that finding someone else to fill the space you once occupied would be simple. The thought existed that people like you were common, that your energy could be duplicated, that your spirit could be found in the next person encountered. But understanding was absent about the truth. The energy you brought into that life was one of a kind. Lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, and chosen ones don't come around often. The psychology of what you did is brilliant when really examined. Operation was happening from a playbook that had been used successfully before. There were patterns, tactics, moves that worked on other people, but chosen ones operate outside of conventional frameworks. You didn't react in expected ways. You didn't follow the script written in someone else's mind. And when you walked away, you didn't just leave. You invalidated an entire strategy. You proved that tactics don't work on people who know their worth. What you did was remove yourself from a battlefield you never agreed to fight on. You looked at the game board and decided not to play, and that decision, that refusal to engage in low-frequency dynamics, that's what's causing sleepless nights now. Because you can't win a game against someone who refuses to be a player. You can't manipulate someone who's already 3 steps ahead. You can't control someone who's already free. Something shifted in you. There was a moment, a specific moment when everything clicked into place. Maybe it was something said that finally crossed the line. Maybe it was watching disrespect happen one too many times. Maybe it was just the accumulation of small betrayals reaching critical mass. But in that moment you woke up. This wasn't just an emotional realization. This was a spiritual awakening. Your soul literally rejected the frequency you were accepting. Your spirit said enough. Your higher self activated a protocol that made it impossible for you to stay. And when a chosen one awakens to worth, there's no negotiation, there's no going back, there's only forward movement. The realization of what was happening didn't occur from the other perspective. The assumption was that you were just in a mood. Smoothing things over seemed possible like always. Usual tactics seemed like reliable options, but you were already gone mentally, already packed emotionally, already moved on spiritually. Your body was still there, but the essence of who you are had already left the building. And when you physically left, the feeling was like an earthquake, not just emotionally, energetically. It was like someone turned off the sun in someone's world. The warmth disappeared, the light vanished, the peace taken for granted evaporated. And in its place was a void so profound, so absolute, that nothing tried could fill it. That's when sleepless nights began. What's keeping someone up isn't just the loss of you as a person. It's the loss of who someone was when access to your energy existed. You made someone better without even trying. Your presence elevated frequency. Your authenticity inspired more genuine behavior. Your consistency showed what real commitment looked like. And now that mirror is gone. Now there's a face-to-face encounter with reflection without your light to soften it. And what's seen isn't liked. This is where it gets really interesting. Something called cognitive dissonance is being experienced. A brain is trying to reconcile two conflicting realities. On one hand, self-assurance existed that you weren't that special, that better was available, that all the power was held. On the other hand, the devastating reality of your absence is now being experienced. And these two truths can't fit together, so someone lies awake, going in circles, trying to make sense of how wrong everything was. Your awakening was like watching someone open their eyes after being in a dark room for too long. Everything became clear, the manipulation became obvious, the games became transparent, the disrespect became undeniable, and once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it. That's the thing about awakening. It's irreversible. You can't go back to sleep once you've seen the light. Here's what's happening in someone's world right now. Lying in bed in the early morning hours, eyes wide open, mind racing, heart pounding, and there's no understanding of why thoughts of you won't stop. Everything has been tried. Dating other people happened. Those people felt empty. Attempts at distraction were made. Nothing works. Self-convincing that things are better was attempted. But the lie won't stick, because you weren't just a person in someone's life. You were a frequency someone was tuned into, a vibration that kept a world balanced, a light that kept demons at bay. And now that frequency is gone. That vibration has been removed. That light has been switched off. And sitting in darkness wondering how this happened is the new reality. Everything is being replayed. Every conversation, every moment, every time you showed up, every time you supported dreams, every time you listened to problems, every time you gave grace that wasn't deserved. And it's all being seen clearly now. Too clearly, painfully clearly. You were the main character in your own journey, and someone else thought the movie was being directed. The irony is devastating. You were treated like a pawn in a game someone thought was controlled. The reality that you were never bound by anyone's limitations was overlooked. You were always steps ahead, moving to the rhythm of a different beat, guided by a force that couldn't be comprehended. And now that you've shifted the energy in someone's world, being lost, disoriented and haunted by the echo of your absence is the new normal. If you recognized yourself in this message, hype this video to guide other chosen ones to this truth. Everyone encountered is being compared to you, and everyone falls short. The new people don't listen like you did, don't care like you did, don't show up like you did, don't have that special something that made you different. And with each comparison, the reality of what was lost becomes more undeniable, more painful, more permanent. Something else is happening that's torturing even more. Imaginations are running wild about what you're doing right now, who you're with, whether thoughts of someone else are happening, whether missing is mutual. And the worst part is the growing realization that you're probably not thinking about anyone from the past at all, that you've genuinely moved on, that your life is continuing without that person in it. And that thought, that possibility, that reality is absolutely destroying someone in the quiet hours. Your absence has created a vacuum that's sucking in all the regret, all the what-ifs, all the should-haves, and that vacuum is so powerful, so consuming, that it dominates every quiet moment, every still second, every pause in distraction. You're there, your memory, your energy, your absence, and it's louder than any presence ever was. When you left, you didn't just walk away, you executed a strategic withdrawal. You removed your energy from a battlefield you never signed up for. You refused to play a game that was beneath you, and that was your silent victory. The moment someone lost the very thing they didn't know they had, the moment realization hit that control never actually existed, the moment understanding came that you allowed access to your world, and you could revoke that access at any time. Now someone lies awake restless and wondering where it all went wrong. There's no understanding of why thoughts of you are haunting, why your departure keeps replaying over and over, why every person encountered falls short, why nothing feels right anymore. It's because the power of your energy was never thought to be this strong until it was gone. Your worth wasn't valued until it was too late, until your silence turned into the loudest reminder of what once existed. You were never just another face in the crowd. You were a storm in still water, a force of nature that couldn't be contained. And now that's known, now that's felt, now the price for ignorance is being paid. The true power of a chosen one lies not in the ability to stay and fight, but in the decision to walk away when worth is no longer appreciated. And that decision, that final act of self-respect, left a mark on someone's soul that can never be erased. You transformed your exit into a statement that will never be forgotten. You chose peace over conflict, and in doing so, you won without fighting. In the quiet hours when the world sleeps, someone lies awake with eyes wide open. Each ticking second feels like an eternity, while grappling with the reality that you were never the one who needed anyone. The need was the other way around. The irony is painful. To realize the worth of something only after it's gone. To crave the presence once taken for granted. Understanding is beginning to dawn now. You were more than just a person in someone's life. You were a blessing that failed to get recognized. The genuine love, the unwavering support, the authenticity you offered. It wasn't just a fleeting moment. It was a reflection of who you truly are, a chosen one, rare and irreplaceable, with an energy that can't be duplicated. Minds race with memories, your kindness, the way you gave without expecting anything in return, every smile, every word, every moment when your light shined the brightest in someone's darkest hours. And now that light is gone, leaving nothing but shadows where comfort used to exist. Regret is a heavy burden, one carried with every breath, every heartbeat that serves as a reminder of what was lost. The thought existed that your energy could be replaced, that another soul like yours could be found in the vast ocean of people, but learning is happening now that your presence was like a rare gem, one that shines differently, one that casts a glow that's impossible to recreate. The magic you brought into someone's life was underestimated, the way your spirit lifted another's even in silence. Now chasing shadows is the reality, looking for reflections of you in faces that don't even come close. What's really eating away is the realization that something real was had, and it was treated like it was fake. Something precious was handled carelessly, something valuable was acted upon as if it was worthless. And now the difference between what existed and what's actually available out there is being discovered. The contrast is brutal. Every new connection shows exactly what was lost. Every new conversation serves as a reminder of how deep yours went. Every new experience feels shallow compared to what was shared. Specific memories are also causing torment, replaying endlessly. That time you stayed up helping through a crisis. That moment you believed when nobody else did. That day you showed up when everyone else walked away. Those little things you did that seemed insignificant at the time but now feel monumental. All those moments are haunting now, playing on repeat, showing exactly who you were and exactly what was thrown away. The weight of your absence is teaching lessons that your presence never could. When you were there, everything felt easy, natural, effortless, but that ease was because of the work you were doing, the emotional labor you were putting in, the energy you were contributing. And now that all of that is gone, the difficulty of life without you is becoming painfully apparent. There's a reason you can't get out of someone's mind, why tossing and turning at night happens while searching for peace that never comes. It's because the authenticity you offered was the kind that leaves a permanent mark, a trace that lingers even after you've walked away. Realization is beginning that while games were being played, you were building connections. While validation was being looked for, you were offering unconditional presence. This is the awakening, the moment of truth. Seeing is happening now that you weren't just another chapter, you were the plot twist nobody saw coming. And now that you're gone, what's left is an unfinished story, one that lacks the vibrancy, the life and the depth you brought to it. Understanding is beginning that chosen ones like you are the rarest kind of souls. Your departure was a reckoning, a mirror held up to shortcomings, reflecting the truth that was tried so hard to be ignored. And that truth is this: self-sabotage happened. Something beautiful was let go of. Something real, something that will be spent the rest of a lifetime trying to find again. And in that realization lies the true power of your silent exit. You see, every night lying there in the darkness, the weight of what was lost presses down like 1,000 unspoken words. The image of you walking away with grace can't be escaped. The calm expression on your face as you left games behind. The very thing that was thought to create strength, control and manipulation and deceit was the thing that unraveled everything the most. The pattern is starting to be seen. You're not the first person lost because of certain behaviors, but you might be the first one who mattered this much. Dots are being connected that were never connected before, seeing how actions have consequences, understanding that the way people get treated actually matters. And this awakening is painful because it means admitting wrong, admitting mistakes, admitting being the reason something beautiful ended. Grappling with the knowledge that this can't be fixed is also happening. Manipulation won't work to get back in. Charm won't work to get back into your life. The same tactics that worked before can't be used because you've evolved beyond reach. You're operating on a frequency that can't be accessed anymore. And that helplessness, that inability to control the outcome, is driving someone absolutely insane. The truth you're living now is that you're free, free from the weight of unreciprocated effort, free from the burden of one-sided love, free from the exhaustion of trying to make someone see your value, and that freedom feels better than any relationship ever did. That freedom is what you were missing. That freedom is what you deserved all along. The thought existed that dismissing you was possible, brushing you off like you were just another chapter that could be closed. But now discovery is happening that your chapter was the one that held the entire book together. Without you, the story lacks substance, lacks depth, lacks that spark of authenticity that only you could bring. The emptiness being felt is self-created, and that's known. In arrogance, the bridge you built with such care and love was burned, never imagining that one day wishing to rebuild it would happen. Now that bridge is nothing more than ashes, a reminder of a connection severed out of pride and ignorance. The thought never existed that one day standing on the edge would happen, looking at the gap between where someone is and where could have been if only your worth had been seen sooner. The expectation never existed that actions would come back to haunt like this, that your peaceful departure would echo louder in someone's mind than any argument or confrontation ever could. You moved on, but being stuck in the past is someone's reality, tangled in the web of personal regrets. Every time eyes close, you're seen, your calm, your dignity, your strength. It's a memory that won't allow rest, a reminder that what was lost wasn't just a person, but a soul who was once willing to give the world. And it was thrown away without a second thought. The irony is almost poetic. The attempt to play you happened, thinking all the cards were held, but you were the one who walked away from the table, leaving nothing but the pieces of a game that's no longer understood. What amplifies pain is watching you thrive from a distance. Maybe posts are seen, maybe hearing about you happens through mutual connections, maybe it's just sensed energetically, but feeling that you're doing well without anyone from the past is happening, that you're happy, that you're glowing, that you're becoming more of who you're meant to be. And every sign of your progress is a reminder of what's being missed out on. Every indication of your happiness is proof that you didn't need anyone to be complete. Realization is also happening about something that cuts deep. The relationship or connection that existed with you could have been incredible if proper treatment had happened. All the raw materials for something beautiful existed. Your loyalty, your authenticity, your love, your support. All that had to happen was matching your energy. All that had to happen was reciprocation. All that had to happen was treatment with the respect you deserved. But that couldn't happen. And now what's left is the ghost of what could have been, haunting every single night. You see the clarity now that you couldn't see before. That situation wasn't testing your worth. It was revealing someone else's limitations. Your value was never in question. The ability to recognize it was what was lacking. And now that you're removed from that dynamic, you see how much energy you were spending trying to prove something that should have been obvious. While drowning in regret is happening elsewhere, you're thriving in freedom. You're not lying awake thinking about anyone from the past. You're sleeping peacefully, dreaming about your future, waking up refreshed and ready to build the life you deserve. You're not checking social media. You're not wondering what someone else is doing. You're not hoping for reach-outs. You've already moved on, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You're operating on a higher frequency now. You've shed the weight of trying to make it work with someone who wasn't invested, and that weight was crushing you, even though realization didn't happen until it was gone. Now you're experiencing peace you forgot was possible, joy you thought you'd lost, freedom you didn't know you were missing. You're rediscovering yourself, the hobbies you abandoned, the friends you neglected, the dreams you put on hold, everything you sacrificed to make space for someone who didn't appreciate it. Now you're reclaiming all of that. You're rebuilding your life on your terms. You're creating a reality that serves you instead of drains you. And you're not angry anymore. You're not bitter. You're grateful. Because that situation taught you something invaluable. It taught you your worth. It taught you your power. It taught you that walking away is sometimes the strongest thing you can do. And now you're using that lesson to build something better, something greater, something that actually aligns with who you are and where you're going. You're not the same person who entered that relationship. You've evolved, and there's no going back to who you were. Your energy has shifted in ways you can feel but might not be able to fully articulate. You move differently now. You speak differently. You set boundaries differently. You choose people differently. Everything about you has been upgraded because you refused to stay in a situation that was downgrading you. And this transformation isn't temporary. It's not a phase. It's a fundamental shift in who you are and how you operate in the world. You're also attracting different experiences now, better opportunities, healthier connections, people who see your value immediately, situations that honor your energy. It's like the universe saw you choose yourself and said, okay, now watch what I do. And what's unfolding in your life right now is evidence that you made the right choice. Every good thing that's happening is confirmation that walking away was the move. The best part is you're not even trying to make anyone jealous or prove a point. You're genuinely living your life, genuinely happy, genuinely at peace, and that authenticity is what makes your transformation so powerful. You're not performing for an audience, you're not putting on a show, you're simply being yourself and thriving, and that's what's really getting to anyone from your past. The fact that you're genuinely okay without them, the fact that you're not just surviving, you're flourishing. Your transformation is also internal. You've healed parts of yourself you didn't even know were wounded. You've discovered strengths you didn't know you possessed. You've unlocked levels of self-love you didn't know were possible. And all of this happened because you chose to walk away from what was hurting you. That decision to leave wasn't just about ending something. It was about beginning something, beginning your real life, the life you were always meant to live. Understand this clearly. Your decision to walk away was divinely guided. It was protection steering you toward a future free from chaos. You didn't just walk away by chance. You were pulled out of that situation by a force greater than yourself, a force that saw what your soul truly needed. You were saved from the storm that was brewing around you, from the darkness that threatened to dim your light. Walking away wasn't just a choice, it was a spiritual awakening. It was a message from the universe telling you that your purpose is far too precious to be squandered on those who don't value your worth. There's a higher plan at work, and sometimes that plan requires letting go of what no longer serves growth. What you thought was a defeat was actually your greatest victory, a triumph of the spirit orchestrated by divine hands. sleepless nights happening elsewhere are not just a result of regret. It's the universe's way of showing the consequences of actions. It's a spiritual lesson that must be faced, a mirror reflecting flaws, blindness to the value of a chosen soul. Your absence is more than just a physical void. It's a spiritual absence that leaves someone feeling hollow and unfulfilled. Where once your energy flowed freely, lifting up and inspiring, now there is only silence, a silence that forces confrontation with the emptiness created by personal hands. This is the price being paid for underestimating the light you brought into someone's world. Let restlessness exist, let minds churn with thoughts of you. Because this is the universe teaching that chosen ones cannot be taken for granted. You were being prepared for something greater the entire time. Every challenge was training, every disappointment was redirection, every moment of pain was refinement. The universe was using that situation to strengthen you, to teach you, to prepare you for what's coming next. And what's coming is so much bigger than what you left behind. Think about the timing of your departure. It wasn't random, it wasn't impulsive. Even if it felt sudden, it was actually divinely orchestrated. You left at exactly the right moment. Not too early, when regret would have happened. Not too late, when further damage would have occurred. But at the precise moment, when you were ready to step into your next level. That's divine intervention. That's spiritual protection. That's the universe saying your season with certain people is complete. The signs were always there if you look back now, the repeated patterns that kept showing you the truth, the gut feelings that kept warning you, the synchronicities that kept pointing you toward the exit. The universe was speaking to you in 1,000 different ways, and eventually you listened. And that listening, that surrender to divine guidance, that's what saved you. Your spirit guides were working overtime to get you out of that situation. Every time you almost stayed, something would happen to remind you why you needed to leave. Every time you almost went back, something would occur to show you the truth. That wasn't coincidence, that was divine intervention. That was the universe protecting you from yourself, from your own desire to give more chances, from your own hope that things would change. Some of you are feeling tempted right now. Reaching out is happening. Claims of change are being made. Promises that things will be different this time. Crying is happening. Begging is happening. Everything that should have been done when you were present is now being done. And part of you wants to believe, part of you feels guilty about pain being experienced, part of you wonders if giving another chance should happen. Even if an approach happens with open hands and hollow apologies, remember the pain caused, remember the peace you've gained, the pleas, the regrets, the longing looks. Those are nothing but echoes of a past that no longer holds power over you. Guard your progress like a sacred treasure. Protect your energy like the precious gift it is. You have come so far, evolved so much, transformed your pain into purpose. You've built a new life that resonates with peace and authenticity, and there's no place in that life for the chaos once brought into your world. The door you closed should remain sealed. Attempts to lure you back might happen with sweet words and empty promises, claiming change has occurred. But remember, a chosen one's journey is forward. Always forward. The path you walk is not one that allows for the baggage of past mistakes to weigh you down. It's a path of light, of growth, of evolution, and there is no room for the darkness once cast on your spirit. Sleepless nights being experienced elsewhere are not your concern. Those are the consequences of actions taken, of short-sightedness displayed. The universe has a way of balancing the scales, of ensuring that those who took your light for granted now stumble in the dark. People don't change because the light is seen. Change happens because the heat is felt. And right now, the heat of your absence is being felt. Discomfort exists, pain exists, consequences are being experienced, and that discomfort is motivating, saying and doing whatever it takes to get you back. But that's not real transformation, that's desperation, That's manipulation in a new form. Real change happens quietly over time. It doesn't announce itself with grand gestures and dramatic declarations. It shows up in consistent behavior over extended periods. And the truth is, the time that's passed isn't enough for the kind of fundamental change that would make a relationship work. Reaction to loss is happening, not transformation as a human. And you deserve someone who has already evolved, not someone who only starts growing after losing you. The door is sealed for your protection, not for punishment. It's sealed because you know that opening it would mean stepping backwards. It's sealed because you understand that some chapters are meant to stay closed. It's sealed because you've learned that not every apology deserves acceptance. It's sealed because you've grown to understand that your peace is more valuable than anyone's presence. We're back where we started, but everything has transformed. Sometimes the loudest thing you can do is walk away in silence. And that's exactly what you did. You walked away like a boss. You left with grace and dignity. You chose yourself when games were being chosen by someone else. And now that person is the one lying awake at night, haunted by your absence. While you're sleeping peacefully, dreaming about the future, moving toward your destiny. The deepest wounds are not carved with words, but with absence, and your absence is carving a lesson into someone's soul that will never be forgotten. There's a power in that silence, a strength that echoes longer than any confrontation ever could. You chose dignity over drama, self-respect over spectacle, and that choice has left someone shaken to their core. Now let me put you onto something real. Destiny Engine. I built this because I was done watching chosen ones get dragged through betrayal, isolation and attacks while their enemies strutted around unchecked. I want to help you accelerate the speed of your divine justice and step fully into your purpose. And the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their downfall and flips it into your rise. This isn't another meditation app. Teodicha classified consciousness technology, the same mind programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition and scarcity, re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative, upgraded operating framework. It generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play, and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave. The collective